happiness. Emphasis on the combination of peace and happiness in the Stoic school. Stoic philosophers are the founders of the idea that the more complicated our lives and the more worries we have, the farther away we are from happiness. With regard to the concept of happiness, I will examine the opinion of the Stoic school of philosophy in this regard. When we talk about happiness, we cannot say anything about misery. In other words, life has two halves, full and empty, and philosophy cannot only talk about the beautiful half of life, speak, but we should also prepare ourselves to face the bitterness of life. In fact, the philosophy of art is to endure hardships, failures, and successes. Aristotle's philosophy has an optimistic view of humans and perhaps pays less attention to the glass half empty and the aspects of human vulnerability. The philosophy of art is to face these injuries, failures, and successes because these two are intertwined. Only Socrates was not forced to drink the cup of hemlock, but we all should be ready to drink the cup of hemlock at his own moment. Life has no meaning without half empty. Philosophy, including Stoic philosophy, does not want to justify the existing situation and does not base itself on everything that exists. It should be accepted, but it says that we cannot change some facts and we should accept them and not spend our time fighting them. Schopenhauer believes that the Stoic philosophy is a synthesis of Kolbe's philosophy. When society is in tension and strange crises such as wars and economic problems occur, people try to take refuge inside. Socrates' students founded Kolbe's philosophy. Kolbe's there were really homeless people who lived very hard and believed that the simpler life is, the more peaceful it is. But the Stoic philosophers are the founders of the idea that the more complicated our lives are, the more we worry, the further away we are from happiness. When we talk about happiness, we must also make room for adversity and suffering. In fact, Stoic philosophy tries to say that when events destroy people and make them weak, we must face this issue. In fact, Stoic philosophers say that philosophy is an exercise in facing different issues. Stoic philosophers say that philosophy means preparation and practice, although some have a wrong understanding of Stoic philosophy, that this philosophy is passive and pessimistic, and that Stoic philosophers were not looking for happiness and peace. But on the contrary, they say that in the path that we are moving forward, we should take advantage of the pleasures that life puts in our way. The philosophy of Stoicism teaches us what kind of world we live in. In this world, sorrows and joys are side by side, so we should enjoy the beauties and be happy for the joys, but at the same time for the sorrows and failures. Let's be ready. The Stoic school is an instruction for what should be done to have several components together. Peace is exactly what is prominent in the Stoic school about happiness. The combination of the concept of peace and happiness is emphasized in this school, but the happiness and peace that is required. In fact, in the Stoic school, we are faced with a triangle of happiness, peace, and virtue in the interpretation of happiness. So we can reach peace if we reduce our internal and external contradictions, which is possible by changing and fighting. It can be done, but a large amount cannot be changed, so in the face of such cases, one should behave calmly. In the eyes of Stoic philosophers, virtue has a special meaning. In fact, virtue is to act according to nature, which was later divided by Muslim philosophers such as Ibn Sina into primary and secondary talent. The first talent of man is a creature that wants to think and act morally. If a person behaves according to his own nature, which is the moral thinking of living and moderation, and reason rules his being, he can control anger and negative emotions. Peace depends on acceptance, and not fighting is pointless and without reason, of course. The meaning of life depends on change, so the war must be done to reach the right and logical issues.